What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Music Bowl. My name is Herd. I will be your pilot for today. I am on a random ride down to New Jersey through some lakes and such. I'm currently on, I don't even know, I think 94 maybe or something. I'm not actually sure where I am, but that's okay. Nice views. Been enjoying the ride here. As we get closer to New Jersey, and we might even be in it, I'm not actually sure yet. Ooh, that's a nice driveway. The drivers are getting worse and worse, I can tell, but that's okay, you know. Here we are. So today, what I want to talk about is, first of all, how beautiful are these woods? Like, this is awesome. My gosh. We should have hopefully some good lake views as well and other things, so we shall see. I think we're going to roll through a town real quick here, but there should be lakes and such soon. But yeah, what I want to talk about is a non-music topic, and this is going to be very much out of left field, but I want to talk to you today about the Flying Dutchman. And I've done this ride and talk before, but I had one of those phantom mic days where it just didn't work for some reason. And that was a while ago. Bug got me square in the face. So forgive me if I do get any of the information wrong about some of the background. I tried to do not a ton of research, but I tried to make sure I had my facts straight the last time I did this, and it's been a while. I'm pretty sure I know this stuff anyway, so we're gonna find out. If I get something wrong, let me know. So I'm gonna talk today about the Flying Dutchman, not the opera, not talking about Wagner today. The Flying Dutchman refers to a goal that was scored in the 2014 World Cup by Robin van Persie. And he is from the Netherlands, hence the Flying Dutchman. Oh, and it was a big flying diving header, which is why it's called the Flying Dutchman. Ooh, pretty lake. Okay, so we're gonna pause the Flying Dutchman, try and get some lake views. Oh, we might not be able to, oh, nope, we might see it over here. Here we go. There we go. Oh, wow. Dang, all right. This ain't so bad. Some nice boating action out there, trying to not hit potholes and or other things. All right, so some decent lake views. Been seeing a lot of bikes out here today, which is quite nice. But yeah, so the reason I'm talking about this specific goal, one, it's just one of my favorite ones that I've ever seen. I watched it live and could not believe what I had just seen. Yeah, you can't quite see the lake because of the stupid trees. Even if I stand up, you're not going to see over all that. So yeah, so anyway, yeah, I watched it live in 2014, and I'm pretty sure that at my parents' house it's still on the DVR. I like won't let them delete it, and I know I can just go on YouTube and watch it at any time, and I do, but there was something about the fact that I was actually watching that game that, like, it's still special to me that it's like on there. I don't know. But there was a couple of reasons that it was so poignant, aside from just being an amazing goal that Van Persie scored. So if you haven't ever seen it, maybe take a pause real quick and just go and check it out. Type in the Flying Dutchman goal on YouTube, and it should come up right away, and there should be, like, you know, just a minute-long clip of the goal itself. You don't have to watch much of the game or anything like that. This little bay over there, and this connects to the lake, I assume, over here. Some guys fishing. Dang, ooh, this is nice. Dang, this is really nice. And okay, the reason it was so poignant, so the game, to set up the game itself, it's the Netherlands versus Spain, and this is the first round of the World Cup in 2014. So it's the first game that Spain and the Netherlands are playing of that World Cup. And it just so happens to be that it's a rematch of the final from the 2010 World Cup. Both Spain and the Netherlands made it to the final, and in that game Spain won 1-0 in, I believe it was in stoppage time even, that they scored. No, not stoppage time, extra time, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But they won 1-0. I believe it was Andres Iniesta who scored the goal. Might have been Xavi, but I don't remember. Sorry guys, you know how notoriously terrible I am at navigating stoplights and intersections while I try and talk and avoid a bee going in my helmet. There we go. Okay. Ooh, Utopia, I can read. Wonder what that means. Anyway, okay. So, it's a rematch of the final, and not only is it a rematch of the final, at this point in the game, when the goal is about to happen, Spain has already gone up 1-0. They got a penalty kick early on. We're about halfway through the first half, and they're up 1-0. And even with all of that, like just being a rematch of the final and being up 1-0, it's kind of like, you know, the Netherlands and the Dutch were hoping to, you know, get some revenge for losing the World Cup final a couple years ago. But to add more pressure to the whole situation, Spain at this time had been on an absolute tear. They won the 2012 Euros tournament, which for anyone who doesn't know, the Euros are basically, it's like the World Cup, but just of European nations. So each continent, for anyone who doesn't know this, also has their own tournament. It's either called the Copa America or the Gold Cup for the North and South America. Or maybe, I think the Copa America is just South America, and the Gold Cup is like the winner of the North America versus the winner of South America. And then there's like the Africa Cup of Nations, there's the, you know, Asian, whatever that one's called, I forget. But every continent has their own, and then in addition to that, we have the World Cup, which puts all the you know, whole globe into a tournament. So Spain had won the 2012 Euros. They won 2 years before that the 2010 World Cup, and 2 years before that they won the 2008 Euros. And I might be wrong, but I don't think any other country has done that, where they've won a Euro, World Cup, and a Euro. I mean, so few countries have won the World Cup, obviously. Making sure I am going the right way. Okay. That, you know, that's a really tough thing to do. And in that run, I don't think they didn't lose very many games. I mean, obviously, in the knockout stages, they don't lose anything. But even in the group play, I don't think they lost more than maybe one or two along that whole run, and including exhibition games and all sorts of stuff. So Spain is on a tear. And so the question is, at this point in time, is like, can the Spanish national team do the unthinkable? Can they win another World Cup? How far can they go? You know, like, it was just, no one knew at this point. It was still basically the same team that won the World Cup, that won the Euros. They're just on an absolute tear. And the Dutch, obviously, not only do they want revenge, but they're trying to answer the question of, like, you know, can the Spanish even be beat? Like, how do we do this? And the whole world's watching this, because nobody had a formula for beating them at this point. So it's 1-0. So it's already not looking good for the Netherlands, because it's like, man, just another repeat here. You know, that Spain's just going to dominate, and, you know, they're going to cruise through the group stages. And then about, I think it's maybe like it's either 34th or 43rd minute, I don't honestly remember, but there's those two numbers involved. Daley Blind gets the ball out on the left side of the field, and he launches this massive cross in. And you're thinking, as Van Persie's running onto the ball, it's like basically him and a defender are the only two back tracking onto this thing. And 13 miles. I thought that said in 13 seconds. I was very confused by my GPS. You're thinking, as the ball is coming in, there's a lot of room between where that ball is coming in and where like Van Persie is going to get it, and where Iker Casillas is, the goalie for the Spain team, and where the goal itself is, because he was a long way off his line. And rather than, you know, pull the ball down and trap it with his feet and then take on Iker one-on-one, Van Persie just unleashes this amazing diving header. And it, you know, hits the underside of the crossbar and puts the ball in the back of the net. And then he sprints over to Louis van Gaal, who is the manager of the... Ooh, look at those boats down there. He sprints over to Louis van Gaal, who's the manager of the Dutch team, because he had also just become the manager of Manchester United. So, and Van Persie was playing for United at the time. It was like the last great hope of United winning a title. It was the last chance we were going to have for a while, as a side note. Ooh, dang, look at that view. You might not be able to see it. I can't quite turn my head far enough, guys. But yeah, so he sprints over. And then from there, that starts to put the doubt in the mind of the Spanish team. Like, and maybe not, maybe like it is just, you know, it's just one goal. They're professional footballers. They can handle tying it up. But the Netherlands, for the rest of the game, absolutely dominate them. And they end up going on to win 5-1. And that sort of, I think when you lose that bad and you've been on such a good run, it demoralizes you a lot. And then the opponents are starting to think like, okay, it can be done and they can be beat bad. How did the Dutch do it? And a lot of the ways the Dutch did it was, obviously you have this amazing goal from Van Persie, but you also had Arjen Robben just absolutely tearing apart the defense with fast runs in behind the lines and all sorts of cool, lots of crazy fast ball movement around the Spanish defenders and things like that. So they were able to really put together a tactical game plan for how to beat the Spanish, and other teams in the group stages copied that. And the Spanish didn't even make it out of the group stages for that World Cup. In 2014 was when Germany ended up going all the way, and they beat Argentina in the final 1-0. So, woo, go Germany. I mostly say that because I don't like Messi, but that's, you know, that's just me and my own thing. And let me clarify, it's not that I don't like Messi. Obviously, he's an amazing footballer. Like, he's ridiculously good. But someone as good as him, who is being hailed as one of the greatest of all time, I just love watching them lose because I root for the underdog so much. And I just think it's fun when someone who is supposedly as good as Messi loses so often. Like, he's only won a couple of trophies with Argentina. Like, it took him so long to win a Copa America or a Gold Cup, and they've never won the World Cup. So it's just fun to watch, for me, to watch them lose. And I remember watching in 2002 Germany get beat 2-0, 2-1 to Brazil in the final at the Korea World Cup. So I've been rooting for Germany, you know, ever since then as well, along with Italy, you know, my home country. I did get to see them win the World Cup in 2006, so that was a cool moment, and the last Euros tournament as well. But yeah, so that's the Flying Dutchman. That's why that goal was not only just a great individual goal from Van Persie, but it was also a very poignant goal that sparked the downfall of the Spanish national team, and they haven't really gotten it back since then. They've gone deep into a couple of tournaments, but they haven't really ever reclaimed that glory. They haven't won anything since then. So yeah, if you have not checked that out, go ahead and just go and Google, or not Google, how old am I? Okay, boomer. YouTube, the Flying Dutchman goal. And it might even be worth it to just watch the whole rest of the highlights from that game. Just type in like all goals, Netherlands, Spain, something along those lines, 2014. There's lots of highlight videos that are only a couple of minutes long. They just show the goals. And they're very, very cool. Like, Arjen Robben's goals are incredible. His second one where he cuts back onto his left foot and then dinks it back to the right side of the goal, like, just so cool. So we're gonna have a cool lake view, and this is how I will end this video. So as always, thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you next time. Woo. Lots of people out on kayaks today. A lot of people out on kayaks today. Awesome. All right, we'll leave you there. Have a great one, guys. We'll catch you next time.